Namaste. Thank you for joining me today for your practice. This practice is entitled No Mud, No Lotus. Several weeks ago, I was sort of in the thick of parenting my great kids, but things are challenging sometimes. And my mom sent me an article, and it was entitled, Repeat After Me, No Mud, No Lotus. And, the story of the lotus is very much about how we're all rooted in the mud and the muck of life. In order for beauty to occur, it's actually stemmed and rooted through a lot of trials and tribulations and muck sometimes. But it gives us this perspective around, in depth around how difficult things are. But it also then gives us the eyes to see the beauty. So at the beginning of the article, she says, certainly there are things that come easy, and oh, how wonderful that is. But the vast majority of achievements and victories involve first sitting in the mud. And I mean really sitting there, settling in, getting covered in it. At face value, the lotus flower grows up from the mud, emerging from the murk, the gloom, in order to bloom. In life's terms, the work and the toil and the suffering that we put in are what yield the return and the reward. It's hard to see beauty sometimes when we're stuck and covered in the mud and the muck. And the lotus blossom is a metaphor to help us remember that it's there. And then the other piece of that is that it's easy to see sometimes where we want to be, who we want to be, where we're going, and who we're becoming. But it's hard to find and sustain the motivation. And so our practice today is this ode to the lotus blossom, and really recognizing and seeing that the work, showing up to your mat again and again and again, being consistent with your children again and again and again, putting in the work and the effort in life is absolutely necessary in order for us to unfold. And that the things that we're not in charge of that put us in the mud and the muck and the gloom, because there are certainly circumstances that are beyond our control, we learn to look at that as an opportunity for growth. Instead of getting stuck in the mud and the muck, we extract what we need from the situation in order to grow and unfold with more grace. So that's our practice today. I'm glad you joined me. Go ahead and close your eyes. Thank you again for joining me. And as you close your eyes, I want you to envision first that your pelvis is the root system, and that you have this capacity to send energy down, to root into the earth. And as you breathe in the next time, see that there's this stem that is the spine moving upwards away from the root system. And that we're able to extract from the mud and the muck and the toil and the turmoil, we're able to extract what we need and discern what we need and send it up the stem of the spine. And as we learn to discern and grow and move things up from the deep, dark places that we'll all find ourselves in, we then begin to feed the unfolding of the lotus blossom. Envision a beautiful blossom of 1,000 petals sitting at the crown of the head. May our practice be an embodiment of this metaphor today, seeing it in everything that challenges us, knowing that we have the strength to sit in the mud as often and as long as we need to extract what it is that we need for our growth. Bring your hands to your heart and let's begin with Om. Take an inhale slowly. Om. Exhale, release your hands. Gently open your eyes and move on to your knees and hands in a tabletop position. Spread all 10 of your fingers as though they were lotus blossoms. Send your right heel back, extend the leg, turn the sternum forward. And as you exhale, bring your knee into your chest, take it out to the side, and then dial it down and around. So we're just going to circle the right knee 3 times to the outside. Be mindful of the arms. They'll want to bend to make it easier. And now reverse your circle. Nice, slow, steady breath in. Stay rooted into the finger pads. And we'll do 3 circles this direction as well. Take an inhale, extend the heel back, lift the chest. And as you exhale, knee to nose, round the spine, push into the earth, root down. Inhale, extend the leg back and lower your right knee down. Take your left leg behind you. Strong, stable arms. Feel the belly gently tone. Bend your knee and nice and slow, knee towards the chest, knee out and around. Keep the eyes slightly forward. Keep the breath full. Notice the places you want to skip and you want to speed up, and try to go really slow. And then reverse. Go the opposite direction. Slowly rotating, carving out the range of motion in the hip. Keep the belly gently toned. So this is just thigh bone moving inside the pelvis. Inhale, extend the left leg back. Knee to chest, exhale. Inhale, extend the heel back and take the knee down. Drop the belly 1 time. Inhale, open. And exhale, round, rooting. Neutral spine, inhale. And then downward facing dog, exhale. Spread the lotus blossoms of your feet. Spread your finger pads. And as you learn to root down and not resist the rooting action, it gives you more freedom to ascend, and it opens the body. Take an inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower to knees or straight legs, chaturanga. Point the toes. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. And exhale, cobra to downward facing dog. Step or float to the top of your mat, inhaling. Look at the feet, spread and open them. Exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. And bow again, exhale. From sitting bones, push down into the heels and rise. And interlace the fingers behind you. Open the chest, inhale. And bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold again, exhale. Fingers clasp each other, palms wide. If you need more space, palms together for more opening. 2 more, halfway lift. Wiggle the head, make sure the neck is soft. Exhale. Upper back is working for sure. Inhale to lengthen. Stay grounded, sitting bones to heels. Release your hands, step your left foot behind you. Come into a lunge. Exhale, ground your back foot like warrior 2. So we have heel to arch alignment. You'll walk your hands over to the right. Look at your right knee and make sure it stays there. It loves to come with you. And then from here, come onto fingertips, tippy tops of the fingers, and you could even use blocks here. Widen your right knee. Lift your left inner thigh up. Widen the sitting bones. And as you exhale, without letting the knee come with you, scoop the tail and soften the upper back. Keep wrapping the right hip back. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Take 1 more breath. Inhale. Widen the pelvic floor. Dial the inner thighs back. Think of the tailbone reaching towards your pubic bone on your exhale. And then walk the hands back in, rise up, warrior two, inhale, and reverse your warrior, exhale. Inhale, come forward, warrior two. And as you exhale, like you're reaching for something just in front of you and it's out of reach, stretch, widen the right knee. Now keep that depth and reverse your warrior. Inhale. Exhale, do it again. Slide the rib cage, pull the right hip back. Keep grounded into your left foot. Inhale. And exhale again. Reach. One more inhale, push into your heels. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Heating up the hips. Exhale. Take your right forearm to your thigh. Left arm overhead or right hand to block or floor. Stretch. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Keep your left inner thigh lifting. Widen your right knee, and again a block under the hand, always a really wonderful helper. Stay grounded in the feet. Inhale. Exhale, spin your hands down to the floor. Lift your back heel up. Lift your back heel up. Ground your hands to blocks or floor and then sweep your right foot up. So we're in a plank. Here, inhale. Exhale, either three-legged dog, right foot back, or lower your elbows, three-legged dolphin. Bend your knee, open your hip. And whether you're in dog or dolphin, 3 circles. To the outside with the knee, and then to the inside. Find your breath, and you can absolutely do this from a tabletop position as well. Extend the leg, lower the foot, inhale. If you're in dolphin, lift the elbows, come forward to plank, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and downward facing dog. Step or float to the top of the mat, inhale. Deep forward bend, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale. Exhale, interlace the fingers. Opposite finger on top this time. Open the chest. And exhale, bow. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Take your hands to the floor. Step your right foot back, grounded like warrior two. So our left foot remains at the top of the mat. And same procedure, second side. So we'll walk the hands to the right, and then you'll come off at a little bit of a diagonal. So I'm not really directly between the feet. I'm about a quarter of the way over. Look at your left knee. Verify that the knee stays over the big toe. You have to wrap the hip back to make sure that happens. Come high onto fingertips. Take an inhale. Feel your inner thighs lift. Widen the thigh bones back and apart. And then scoop the tail and soften the chest. And you're here inside of perhaps a lot of work, perhaps a lot of sensation. And this teaching doesn't have anything to do about over-efforting. It has to do with the fact that there is work to be done. And that we acknowledge that. We learn to settle in. We learn that life is hard and unfair sometimes. We learn that we all make mistakes. And we learn to extract what we need from that in order to grow and unfold. Walk your hands in. Warrior two, inhale nice and slow. Feel the heat in that leg. And then reverse your warrior, inhale. Exhale, come back on top. Inhale. And then exhale, reach like somebody's just in front of you and you're gonna offer them something. Stretch. Keep the knee that bent. Reach back, inhale. And do it again. Exhale, strong back leg. Root. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, reach. Again, inhale. And exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale. Forearm to thigh, right arm overhead. Spin your belly to the right. Side angle pose. Parsvakonasana. Or left hand to block or floor. Reach. Inhale. Right inner thigh lifts as the left knee reaches forward. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Spin your back heel up. Bring your left knee into your chest. The left foot comes off the floor. And you're either pushing back to three-legged dog, or you push back, lowering the elbows into dolphin. Bend your knee, open your hip. And of course, the third option is tabletop. We'll circle the knee 3 times. Breathe, slow, steady. Stay with the work. Opposite direction. Good. And then replace the foot. If your elbows are down, lift them up. Come forward to plank. Chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And downward dog. Take a breath. Exhale completely. Step or float your feet to the top of the mat. Take a big inhale and exhale, fold. Separate your feet outer hip distance apart and turn your toes out. So we'll come into Malasana. I'm going to spin forward just so you can see me here. Toes are out and the feet are wide. Give yourself space. Hips drop down. And you can either sit on a block, a cushion, some books, especially if the heels want to lift. My other favorite thing to do is to roll my mat up to where it's thick enough that my heels can stay down. And that could actually look like rolling up a blanket or a towel at home. So we want our heels grounded. We want to be able to root in order to rise. And instead of forcing yourself into this position, accommodate yourself so you can stay present with the breath. Because we're going to be here for a little bit longer. So instead of coming in and out of it, like I've been doing, you're just steady. Feel the rooting action of the feet, of the pelvis. Feel the lift of the spine. So instead of feeling as though we're collapsed and compacted and we're just staying here until it's over, we're actually arranging ourselves really specifically so that we're able to be uplifted and to bring information and energy upwards towards the crown. So often our ego tells us it shouldn't be this hard. I still say that often. Like, why is this so hard? Can't this just be easy? And Life says no. No mud, no lotus. Stay here and repeat that internally. No mud, no lotus. Plant yourself down in the mud and the muck and arrange yourself in a way that you're able to be uplifted and extract what you need to go upwards, even though we're all rooted in the heavy, deep depths of life. Last breath, inhale. Exhale. And then place the hands down. Ever so slowly start to lift the hips. You'll be at the top of your mat still, and bow. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold again, exhale. Push down through both feet. Rise up, sitting bones push to heels. And exhale, hands to heart. Stand on your left foot. Spread your left toes, and you'll take your right ankle on top of your left knee. One of my favorite ways to practice this is towards a wall. So you can use the wall to balance yourself. Your standing knee is straight, but it's not locked or hyperextended. So the front standing knee, I would say, is sort of spongy. So you can also put blocks in front of you. Flex the right foot so there are no wrinkles on the inner ankle. Take an inhale. Feel the inner thighs move back slightly. So we're creasing at the hip crease instead of up at the diaphragm. Stay here or start to walk down the wall. Stay any place that you get a big sensation. Touching the floor is not the point. Your standing foot is already on the floor. That's the good news. That's the only point that's important to touch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Widen the inner thighs back and apart. And learn to feel what you're feeling. Not expecting to feel something or being frustrated that you felt something, or even being frustrated that you're hitting limitations. Take another breath. Exhale all of your air. Root into your standing foot. Keep rooting down to rise slowly. And exhale, release the right foot. Let's just take an inhale to clear that. Reaching up. Fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Fold again. Rise to stand. And hands to heart. Same procedure, second side. We'll take our left ankle on top of our right knee. Again, same idea. If you need the wall, that's great. Inner thighs, instead of pressing forward, we're starting to dial the inner thighs back and apart. The pelvic floor widens. We drive the tailbone under, and you might stay here. You might be able to walk down the wall. You might bring your hands to blocks, maybe fingers to floor. But this is the thing, we get ahead of ourselves. The lotus blossom is the unfolding of the body where it is. It's not about touching the floor. We get sort of confused and we bypass all the work sometimes that's actually necessary for us to advance or to move forward in our life. So listen carefully to the body, knowing it doesn't mean more is better. It's about being really clear about the reality of things. What are you rooted into? What is the work that actually needs to be done in order to unfold? And that really is the question. Take one more breath here. Standing legs strong. Push from sitting bone to heel. That rooting action makes it more available to rise back up. and exhale, release. Take an inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, forward bend. Halfway lift. Fold again, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale. And hands to heart, exhale. So one more variation standing. Again, you can use the wall for support. We're going to stand on the left foot. I'm going to spin this way so you can see me more clearly. Stand on your left foot. Take your right ankle on top of your left knee again. Now, I want you to think of Utkatasana, or chair pose. So our bum goes way back. Widen the inner thighs apart from each other and drive the tailbone down and stay connected to the standing foot. For balance, use the wall, hands to heart, sink the hips back. What we don't want is for the knee to come forward on the left side. Take another inhale and exhale, sink. This is a lot of work. Keep lifting the spine, keep rooting down. And then either stay or right hand to heel, left hand to hip and twist, or right elbow to arch and rotate. So this is an all levels practice, meaning choose your own adventure. Know the work that you need to do and do it. Take another breath, lengthen your spine. So twist or no twist, does not matter. Exhale. Unravel slowly if you're twisted, and then exhale will all come to stand. Take an inhale, reach, and just clear the energy, hands come down. Good. So stand on your right foot. I'm going to spin again so you can see what I'm doing here. Left ankle on top of right knee. Inhale here. Thighs go back, bend like Utkatasana. Instead of the pelvis scooping and rounding the spine, remember the metaphor we use. Pelvis to legs, root, spine lifts up. Even if that means you come out of the pose, but we want those two properties working together. Inhale, exhale, flex the left ankle, keeping the left knee safe. And either stay here or left hand grabs the heel, right hand to the hip, and you start to spin your inner body to the right. Maybe you fall out of the pose. If we don't know wobbliness, we don't know steadiness. That's really sort of what this is imploring us to discover. And then maybe elbow to arch. Inhale and exhale. Rooting down and finding the parts and the pieces that need to extract energy and move it up for the unfolding. Unravel, slow. Inhale, knee still bent. And release, exhale. Whew. Take a big inhale, reach. Downward facing dog. Touch the floor, exhale all your air. Inhale, knees and hands. And slide your feet over to the side. And take a seat. So from here, bend your right knee. I'm going to mirror you. Bend your right knee and open it out to the side. And then walk your knee back slightly. Take an inhale, left arm reaches, and you'll stretch forward, either grabbing the thigh, knee, calf, ankle, or baby toe side of the foot. Inhale, and exhale. Spin your belly toward your inner left thigh. And remember, any of the posture or any of the phases of the posture are appropriate to be in. That we're willing to sit in the work that's necessary to create the unfolding that we're craving, that we know belongs to us. Take another breath. And then slowly rise up. The option here is to either stay here and repeat this if you have knee stuff going on. Otherwise, we're going to bring the right foot underneath us. I'll turn sideways so you can see this here. Into Virasana or half Virasana. My baby toenail is looking at the floor. My knees are close, but they're not touching. You can absolutely sit up on a block or a blanket, because this pose has a tendency to kind of make the hips a little ski-wampus. So we want to make sure that we're in really good alignment here. Take an inhale. And either stay here, because this is plenty. Our foot might be the barrier. Exhale, maybe you fold a little. Maybe you come forward more. And then inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, release. Undo. We're going to take the leg like we did a moment ago, standing into this figure 4 shape. So my right ankle is flexed, and my knee, if I need extra support, I put a block underneath it. If you have half lotus in your body, you can bring the right heel up to your, we call it the Uddiyana Bandha point, the low belly, and bring the knee down. Inhale, right arm can reach and fold, or right hand can come behind the back and you can work on folding. This is not important if your knee is not ready for the pose, right? And this is the moment that you decide that it's necessary to root into a foundation of seeing your limitations and being okay with it. And then moving in a way that you're able to leave this practice and you feel better. Not worse, certainly not injured. Take an inhale. Exhale all your air. And then inhale, rise back up and release. Extend the leg out in front of you, and we'll take the second side. So left knee comes in and out. Walk the knee back. Prop yourself up if you need to. Take the left arm up to the sky. Spin your belly towards your straight leg and either reach for the thigh, outer knee, calf, ankle, or foot. Inhale, stay or fold. And we're looking again to fold from the hips, not from the diaphragm. Most of us are not very good sitters. And so backing up and really working those postural muscles that are deeper inside the body helps us access the unfolding I think that we all really want. We want to feel good in our bodies, and we have to be willing to do that work. And that feels like sitting in the mud and the muck sometimes when we're hit pretty hard with the reality of our limitations sometimes. Take another breath. Exhale completely. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. So from here, we'll bring our left knee up and bring the foot behind. And again, I'm going to spin so you can see me. So important that the foot never does this sickling action. This is not worth it, I promise you. It's so icky on our knee. So we turn the foot under, sit up on something if you need to. And our inner heel is touching the outer hip. If this is not appropriate, not worth it. Come back to the pose we were just in. Take an inhale here. Sitting up on a block if you need to. Exhale, stay or fold. The toes on the straight leg are active. My toes that are turned under are I'm like clicking my toenails into the mat. So I'm not just squishing my foot, I'm actively pushing my foot into the mat as I fold. And that also helps protect the knee a little bit. Take a big inhale. Exhale, be exactly where you are. And then rise up, inhale, and undo. Bend the knee, and either come into ankle over knee, like we did standing a couple of times, or, you can come into half lotus. The heel, ideally, should come to the low belly, and the knee comes forward and down. So lotus is one of my nemesis poses. There are times that my body says yes, and there's times that my body says no. You'll notice on this side, my knee is pretty high. We generally want the knee to start to descend downwards. So my knee's not uncomfortable, so I'm gonna stay, but if my knee starts to get sensation, I exit the pose and I come back here. So give yourself permission to do that. Stay here, or maybe you bind, and maybe you fold. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. And you breathe into what you find, not what you expected to find. That whole thing of expectation is what makes the mind think that, oh, this should be easier than it is, which we all get caught in. So just see it, breathe into it, and come back to the lessons that we all are learning every day. And extract the essence of the experience to help you grow. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. Extend the legs out, give them a little shake. And then slowly bend your knees and lie on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. A little rock from side to side. So the seated poses and all the hip opening that we've done, it's prepared us pretty well for Shavasana. So if you need a twist, we didn't do a ton of twisting, feel free to take a twist. Otherwise, arms and legs start to flower open. And then you get to sit like the lotus floating on the waters. You feel the body just floating from all the work, all the alignment, even the experience of our own limitations. All of that led you to this moment as you unfold. And take the next few moments to bring your awareness to the body, but see it as this beautiful blossom that's unfolding day by day. Every evening, the lotus blossom returns back into the mud and the muck. It withdraws itself and it is immersed every evening in the darkness, in the depth, in the shadow, in the sticky places. And every morning when the light returns, the lotus blossom emerges and unfolds untainted. It unfolds to remind us of our own beauty, of the beauty that there is in life, even inside of the challenges and the work and the frustration and the unfairness and the shadow. There is still beauty. Deepen your breath and very slowly begin to bend your knees, place your feet to the floor. Roll to your side. And see yourself as the lotus blossom as you rise to seated, planting your roots, extracting the essence of your experience and moving it upwards through the stem of the spine. And at the top of the crown of the head is a beautiful 1,000-petal lotus blossom unfolding one petal, one experience at a time. Gather your hands to your heart. Open your center 3 fingers away from each other, channeling this lotus blossom through the hands as well. Repeat after me. No mud, no lotus. Thank you for your practice today. We'll close with Om one time as an offering. Inhale. Namaste.